I used to wake up and make a to do list for 17 items. And by the end of the day, maybe two or three of them were done. But at the end, I absolutely felt like a garbage. Sounds familiar? Here's what nobody tells you: you're not lazy, you're not broken. You are just using strategies designed by the people who actually don't have your life. Listen, I'm not here to sell you a 5 miracle morning that requires journaling for an hour and sipping your green juice. No. Most of us are actually juggling with work, relationships, maybe school, and definitely bills. And somewhere in there, we are supposed to live a life we enjoy. Over the next 30 minutes, we are breaking the real system. Why you are actually stuck, how to plan so it works, how to execute without burning out, managing your physical energy, and make it all sustainable. Whether you're still balancing work and classes, a professional running in deadlines, an entrepreneur building something, or managing household by chasing your own dreams, this is for you. By the end, you will understand why motivation is a lie. How to structure your day so you are not just being busy, you are actually being productive. And how to sustain this without crashing in 2 weeks. Guys, this applies to you too. So, grab your journal and your coffee, sit back, and listen. Confession time. Who's told themselves I will start Monday? At least 3 times from the beginning of this year. Yeah, we need to talk about that. Here's the uncomfortable truth: motivation isn't coming. I know you have been told to find motivation or get inspired, but motivation is like that friend who says they will meet us but takes 30 minutes late and say they can't make it. Motivation shows up after you start, not before. Ever wonder, when you start something, it is not as bad as you thought? That's because actions create motivation, not the other way around. And this obsession with the perfect movement, it doesn't exist. There is no magical alignment where you will have uninterrupted time and perfect clarity. That's a fairy tale. The perfect alignment is when you decide to be done, not perfect. Because perfectionism is a procrastination in a prettier outfit. Ladies, we have been socialized to be accommodating, to say yes, to put everyone else first. So, when we sit down for our own goals and someone needs something, for example, our boss, our parents, our family, our partner, our kids, our friends, anyone, what do? We drop down everything. This isn't about being selfish. You cannot pour something from an empty cup. Treating your goals optional while needing to keep others people needs urgent is a recipe to burn out and resentment. Here's a first real strategy: the 5 minute rule. When you feel resistance for beginning, which you will, make a deal with yourself. Just 5 minutes. Set a timer. Commit to 5 minutes of the task. The hardest part is starting. Once you're in motion, resistance drops dramatically. 9 times out of 10, you keep going because you have broken the initial barrier. Want to develop? Start on hard mode. Tackle your most difficult, most important task first thing when you are fresh. Not after emails, not after schooling, and definitely not after easy warm up task. First thing, by your decision making energy is full. Your willpower is maxed, and when you are done with the most hardest task, you feel everything else easier to do, and you build an immediate momentum. But more mind builder. Work expand to fill the time you give it. For example, if you give a task 3 months to complete, it will take 3 months to complete. Stop giving yourself whole afternoon to write one email. Write it in 30 minutes. Try it and shorten timelines and see how much faster you get things done. Show me a to-do list right now. How long is it? 10 items? 20? Here's the thing. That list is lying to you. Traditional to-do lists are productivity theater. They make you feel busy without making you effective. You start writing the list, you feel you are doing something productive, and then look at it and feel overwhelmed. So you end up doing easy stuff just to cross something off. And the hardest or important stuff sits there. You need systems, not just lists. First system, time blocking. Stop thinking about tasks and start thinking about time. Map your weeks in chunks. Classes 9 to 2. Study 3 to 6. Work 7 to 10. Meetings 1 to 3, etc. etc. Time blocking removes decision fatigue. You stop asking yourself, what should I do now? Because you already decided. You just show up and execute. And ladies, block time for yourself like you would block a meeting with your boss. If 7 to 8 is a time for your own project, it's not negotiable. You are not going to be available for the last minute request. You are allowed to have boundaries. Second system, the not to do list. This is a secret thing. Productivity is subtractive, not just additive. It's also about doing less of the wrong things. Make a list of what you will stop doing. Tasks that don't move you forward. Energy vampires, let's say. People, habits, commitments that drain your energy without giving you anything back. Time wasters, disguised as productivity. Third system, backlogs. Every week, identify 3 things which are not negotiable and try to complete those things in a week. If you are done with those 3 things at the end of the week was a success. Everything else is secondary. By 3, it's achievable. It forces ruthless prioritization. You can't make 17 things a priority. But 3, you can protect 3 things. And these need to move a needle. Not busy work, not maintenance, real progress. Building a business, finalize the present. Reach out to those 10 clients. Or film content in school, start studying by midterms, apply for internships, or complete that paper draft. 4 system matching. Group similar tasks and do them in one focused block instead of scattering them. Creating content, don't film one video Monday, edit Tuesday, and write caption on Wednesday. Instead, do it multiple videos in one sitting. Write all the captions together and edit all the videos together. You will see you are in the same mental mode on doing things, and it will give you results better than scattering them and doing it in different days. The glue holding these systems together is weekly review. Every Sunday or whatever day, spend 30 minutes on the week ahead. Identify your big rocks, time block, and rewrite your not to do list and recommit to your boundaries. This 30 minutes actually save lot of time of your week. You are planning strategically instead of reacting to things. What if your inability to focus has nothing to do with your willpower and everything to do with your alignment? We live in a world engineered to distort attention. Every app on your phone is designed by a psychologist whose job is keeping you scrolling. Every notification is a dopamine hit. Every ping is an interruption. You cannot willpower your way through distraction rich environment. You have to redesign the environment. First should be hard to reach. Aggressively hard to reach. Turn off all notifications. Not silent, off. Delete social media during work hours. Download app blockers. Put your phone in another room. But what if someone needs me? No, nobody needs you that urgently. Until and unless you are a surgeon on call or a parent of a young kid. Schedule your timing to reply to those texts. 7 p.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., 5 p.m., whatever suits you. But you do it on your own schedule. PDs are no. This is following up guilt. We have been taught to be available for everyone and be good. Good employee, good partner, good parent, good at everything. But this makes you less effective. Being available to everyone else makes you less effective. And having boundaries is not selfish, it's necessary. Second strategy, focus triggers. Environmental cues that signal deep work time to your brain. A specific location where you do your deep work there and never the couch. Because your brain knows that this is the space where I work and where the focus. Auditory cues, classical music, or wearing headphones with noise cancelling. Find what works for you and use it consistently. You are training your brain through repetition. Third, physical signals. Get dressed, do your hair, put on an outfit that makes you feel confident. It's tempting to stay in pajamas like working from home. But there is a psychological power in dressing like you mean business. It signals that the chill mode is over and work has begun. You don't need a suit. You just need to have a difference to know that we're rolled out of it and I have my life together. Fourth, Pomodoro. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. For say 25 minutes, work on your task. No distraction, full focus. Now, take a 5-minute break after 25 minutes and repeat. Why does this work? Because it feels achievable. You're not putting hours to do that task. You are taking only 5 minutes and destroying that initial barrier and then taking a 5-minute break and then repeat it. Actually take breaks. Get up, stretch, grab water and look away from your screen. After 4 pomodoros, about 2 hours, take 15 to 30 minutes break. This rhythm prevents burnout. Multitasking. There's a right and a wrong way. Wrong way to do two cognitive tasks at once. Writing emails during calls, studying while texting. Your brain can't do that effectively. Right way is pairing mental with physical. Audiobook while cleaning, podcast and doing some work, and calls during working. One need focus and another is automatic. That works. Why do you crash at 3 p.m. every day? Hint. It's not because you are lazy, It's because what you ate for breakfast. Productivity isn't just time management, it's energy management. You can have all the time in the world, but no energy means nothing gets done. Your body is a biological system. If you don't know how it works, we are flying blind. Let's start with the exercise. When you exercise, you generate new mitochondria, the powerhouses of the cells that generate energy. More mitochondria means more energy, which makes your brain works better and improves your focus and mood stabilizes. You don't have to become a gym rat. You just need 20 30 minutes of your day before you start your day actually, and have some movement to generate new cells as I said before, and have more energy to do more work and be more productive, and you don't actually feel tired by 3 p.m. Now food. Eat meals that stabilizes your blood sugar. High fiber, protein, healthy fats and carbs. Don't skip meals to save your time. Your brain runs on glucose. You need to understand you skipping meals is not just about having to skip it. You are actually making your brain deprive of energy, and it won't be working according to its full capacity. So don't skip your meals and drink water. Most people gets dehydrated, and which kills energy and focus. Mornings. Everyone say to wake up at 5 a.m. and crush your goals. But that's not sustainable and enjoyable. Better approach is to have the slow mornings, like you can drink your coffee slowly, read, journal, and meditate, anything you like. But you need to understand this point very carefully. Don't start working the moment you wake up. No. Start with the things you enjoy. Because when you start with those things you enjoy, you don't feel dread while waking up. Because you want to wake up. You want to get out of bed and do what you enjoy first. And that makes your day better. Most productivity system fails because people try to change everything at once. Burn out in 2 weeks and quit. Let's talk about making the stick. First principle, consistency over intensity. Better to work out for 20 minutes per week, 3 days, instead of doing 2 hours of exercise and burning yourself out and quit. Small, repeatable habits compound. They don't feel impressive day to day, but a year from this or 5 years, the effect of these small habits, it's massive. The 2 day rule. You can miss one day. Life happens, it's okay. But you are not going to miss the next day. Because if you do, it's a new pattern, which is beginning that you are going to skip again and again and again and eventually quit. So remember, skip one day, it's fine. Next day, you are going to do that thing, that task you didn't do. And even if it's just for 20 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes, doesn't matter. You will do it. Stop thinking about habits as things you do and think about them as who you are. Don't say, I want to work out more. Say, I'm someone who prioritizes fitness. I'm, I want to read more. I'm a reader. Say that. When behavior becomes identity, you stop negotiating. Become your own accountability partner through journaling. Every night, sit down and write your 3 big rocks which you did and did not accomplish, and why you did not accomplish them. Is it because it was necessary to avoid those things because I had something to do important? Or is it because you were just like, I don't want to do it? This makes a system to actually make you accountable and you will work on it later. You're allowed to change your systems if it doesn't work. You can iterate. If time logging isn't working, start batching. If that's not working, start theming days. If that doesn't work, find something else that works for you. The goal isn't following someone's, steps. It's about making your own path and achieve your goals. Plan breaks in your system from the beginning, not as failure, as a part of your design. Every 3 months, after every 3 months, you take a break of 1 week, zero work. Every week, 1 day, nothing. You don't text anyone, you don't do anything. You will just keep that day to yourself. During holidays or live events, scale back. This is strategic risk. When you fall off track, which you will, of course, don't spiral into shame. Don't tell yourself, I'm terrible like this. I always fail. That's useless and destructive. Instead, acknowledge it. This week was rough. I didn't hit my goals. That's okay. And ask, was it within my controls? If it was, adjust next week. Was it external? Give yourself grace and move forward. The difference between a normal person and a successful person is simple. A successful person never let a failure be a reason or quit it. Where normal people quits, you decide who you are, a normal person or a successful person. Finally, adopt a long game mindset. Productivity isn't about winning today. It's about still being in a game after 1 year, 5 years from now. That means no to shortcuts, which leads to burnout, and protecting your health and relationships. Building a life that actually you want to live, not just to look impressive. Alright, let's swing all this together. You now understand motivation is a myth. Action creates momentum. The perfect moment isn't coming. So start with the 5 minute rule and tackle your hardest task. You have time blocking to eliminate decision fatigue, not to do lists to protect your focus, busy logs to prioritize what matters, and batching to reduce context switching. You know how to execute. Be hard to reach, use focus triggers and physical fitness, apply Pomodoro, one daily deep work block. You understand energy management. Exercise creates energy. Balanced meals stabilizes blood sugar. Sleep is non-negotiable. The slow morning matters. And you know how to sustain it. Consistency over intensity. The 2-day rule, addictive based habits, self accountability, permission to adjust, strategic rest, belonging. But here's what I really wanted to take away. Productivity isn't about becoming a different person. It's about removing barriers keeping you from who you already are. We're not lazy. We're not broken. We're just using somebody else's strategies on your own actual life, where you actually need to apply your own strategies and design to achieve and to have the life you want to enjoy. If this said, share with someone who actually needs it. When women succeed, we help other women succeed too. I created this because I was drowning in to-do list too and being overwhelmed by it. And this, whatever I told you in this video, actually worked for me. You have one life, one chance to build something which you want. Whether it's a business, career, family, or a creative project, or all of the above. Don't waste your years for being busy without being effective.